Zone.com. When 6A to 6P isn't enough, the boys have you covered. Here's Jimmy Allen and John Schreiner.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside the After Hours Lounge. Did you miss us? Well, we're back. It's the After Hours Lounge brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the ideal college experience this winter, head over to bellevue.edu. Register for classes. No classes on Friday. The majority of your schooling done online and live sports right on your campus. Check out bellevue.edu for more details tonight. How far away is Nebraska from being back? We'll debate. Also, what do we get right? What do we get wrong? And what do we not see coming this weekend in college football? We'll tell you exactly how we did in Call Your Shot at this time. Just a reminder, it is not too late to get in on a Call Your Shot, where we give you 7 games weekly in college football to pick against the spread. The winner at the end of the season is going to get 2 tickets to a game of major significance on Black Friday. We're going to catch up with Adam Carriker from CarrikerChronicles.com, get his thoughts on the Michigan game. John broke that down with Adam. We'll buy or sell on several different topics. Also, who's on the hot seat? Who's next to be fired? And who can we not believe hasn't been fired yet? We'll debate all that. And then Brian Munson from Husker Online and On3.com will join us at 7:30. And as always, we'll wrap up our show with our trash takes of the night. 402-951-1620 is where you can get a hold of the show. Don't forget, it is a Taste Test Tuesday today, courtesy of our friends out at Marrow, Gretna's newest hidden gem, the best dining/bar experience you're going to get in the Gretna area. It's Marrow. Head over to our Twitter page or our Facebook page at After Hours 1620. Retweet or share the GIF the Taste Test Tuesday post tonight. We're going to enter you into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to Marrow. Nebraska falls to Michigan by 3 points on Saturday. And boy, oh boy, did it feel like a much bigger loss than 30-27.
Yeah. The circumstances of the game made it feel really bad.
They spotted Michigan 10 points at the beginning of both halves. That usually doesn't go well when that's the case. What did you make of Matt Rule deciding to go for it in that first drive?
Yeah, you'll hear. So I talked to Adam Carriker about this in the interview that's coming up at 6:30. But I'll go ahead and give you a preview of my thoughts. So I'm in two minds about this, right? Like, I think most of the time, if you're inside the 5 and you believe in yourself, you should go for it. I think that you should value touchdowns over field goals when you're inside the 5. I really do.
I agree.
The caveat to this is when it's the first drive of the game and you have a chance to take the lead on the scoreboard, because I think there's a significant psychological advantage to playing from ahead, even if it's just 3 points, even if it's just a field goal. When the other team looks up at the scoreboard and sees that they're behind, there's something that happens. Like, whether you start saying, okay, now we have to go score, right? Yeah. It starts to force that mentality of pressing, of anxiety, of whatever you want to call it. I do think that there is something to, like, scoring on your first drive and making the other team play from behind. And I just felt like in that situation, even though most, like 90% of the time, I'm going to tell you, no, going forward is the right choice. In that spot, when Nebraska didn't get, and this is the other side of the coin. If you don't get it, if you go for it on 4th and it's the first drive of the game and the other team stops you, and it's hard to coach this way, I understand, to coach against the negative rather than for the positive, you give them the momentum in the game.
See, I disagree in this situation, though, just because of how buried Michigan was. And that, like, I loved the call to go for it, specifically because the way they were moving the ball down the field on that drive, and the fact that if they didn't get it, Michigan was going to have to go 97 yards to score, which they did not. Like, I loved the call because, and think about the flip side of it. They get the ball back in their side of the territory because they went for it in the first place. So, like, I think even with revisionist history and the fact that they did lose the football game, they didn't score, and the field goal is missed on the next possession, I still think it was the right call to go for it for a couple of reasons. You felt like your defense was good enough to hold them for 97 yards, and if you were able to get the ball back and play good defense, you might have been on the plus side of the territory. Those things obviously came to fruition. Now, what you weren't able to do, you weren't able to execute the 4th down, and your field goal kicker missed a kick. Now, obviously those things didn't work out, but I also thought it gave Nebraska the massive advantage. And that's why if you're inside the red zone, I think there's such a benefit, maybe not the red zone, maybe inside the 10. But if you're inside the 10, I think there's just such a benefit to go for it on the 4th down, because obviously 7's more than 3. If you want to take a minute to check your math, I understand. But It also shortens the field, and even if you're not able to get it, gives you a better opportunity of possibly scoring if you can get them to go 3 and out on the next possession. So it was a couple things. I was for them going for it. I understood. I was actually pretty hyped about them doing it because you mentioned it. Like if you look up and you're down 3 points, it's already kind of a mental hill to climb. You look up and you're down 7 right away on the first drive. It puts a lot of things in perspective, and some teams don't do well with their back up against the wall. Now, the flip side of that is Michigan went down and scored first, and it kind of felt like Nebraska was on the opposite end of that. But the other thing is Michigan averaged 9.4 yards a carry in this game. And you had a freshman quarterback coming into this game who threw for 105 yards and 0 touchdowns, and Michigan felt like they dominated this game. That's a problem. The other thing, you also had your backup running backs get a combined 3 carries. So all of the problems we were talking about at the beginning of the season, about question marks that we had that were pretty glaringly obvious to everybody that could see them, where the coaching staff said, no, we feel really good about this guy, and we feel really good about this situation. We understand losing Ty and Nash is a big deal, but maybe not as big of a deal as we thought it was going to be. These seem like pretty big deals. And I don't want to hear that they only lost by 3. Because to anybody that watched that game, did it feel like you only lost by 3 points?
Yes.
Sure didn't. Really?
Yes, it did. And here's why. There are many other things to die. And this is why I like this program, because
The University of Nebraska or this radio show?
this radio show,
Okay.
this program that we currently are on
Gotcha.
in this moment, because I know that I'm going to get doom and gloom and the positive. And if I'm going to have to be the one to pull the positive out, I will, because we only lost by 3 points to a Michigan team. Dylan Raiola looked like what Dylan Raiola was supposed to look like.
He should have thrown 3 picks. I disagree with that as well.
Good for you. You can disagree with agree with that all you want, because guess how many he actually did throw?
1.
One, and that was it.
And
308 yards.
That was probably the least one that should have been picked.
Yeah. We can move on from that, because he only threw 1 pick, looked like what he was supposed to look like. The defense is where the issue came in. We had a lot of miscues and a lot of missed assignments on that. And if you take out those 3 large runs that were the touchdowns that Michigan scored, we have a ball game and we have a win.
Well, if you take a Hail Mary at the end of the quarter that a interim head coach probably should have known better than to take a timeout and not allowed that to happen in the first place, you don't have a ball game and you don't win, even without those touchdowns.
I'm not on the doom and gloom side of this thing.
I'm not either. I just think there's very clearly issues that needed to be addressed that didn't get addressed in the offseason. That's where I'm standing at. I'm definitely not sky is falling guy.
I think that this can ultimately be a positive for the season. I think that there's a way that this sort of galvanizes the team and the coaching staff, forces them into some hard decisions.
It's all about how you respond.
And like Matt Rule said in his press conference today, they're going to sit down during this bye week and determine, okay, who are the best 11 players that we have on each side of the ball? Let's get them playing. Right.
I want to talk about that, because when he said that yesterday, I had a major problem with that. You had an entire offseason and an entire fall camp. Now, obviously, it's shortened. You don't get to tackle a whole lot. You have the thud rules. You can only take to the ground so many times, but you had, 4 live scrimmages as well? Shouldn't that have been a discussion 8 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think you do your best
Sure.
when you're playing against yourself, and then when it comes like real game time and you see like who flips the switch when the lights turn on and who doesn't.
Yep.
I think there's a period where you have to have some reflection and make some choices. And that is currently right now what this Nebraska coaching staff should be and has said that they will do. And there are some positions where you need to, like, there are some guys who need a sort of heart-to-heart talk.
Because fairly, I think they think Luke Lindenmeyer is much further ahead than they probably did in fall camp. And
absolutely.
And secondly, the biggest positive I took away from this whole game, Ja'Cory Barney's that dude, and he needs to have a minimum of 7 targets, in my opinion, per game. Minimum.
Yeah, and I think we may see some shuffling on the offensive line. I think that
we've been seeing that for 4 games,
especially at the tackle spots, because Nebraska got absolutely abused on the edges
Yeah.
on the offensive line.
Teddy is just so tall. Those guys that can bend and twist in front of him, it's just such a struggle for him to get down to that level. I'm not here to make excuses for Teddy Prohaska. I just think he's playing at the wrong position. I think he's a guard.
None of the left tackles had a good game.
None, not one.
Not one of them.
What did you make of the offsides call? The false start, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's a judgment call. Like, I don't have a big problem.
Pritchett
with
clearly moved, but like they were saying, well, the guy that actually jumped off sides didn't impede him, and that's true. But if you go back and watch, the dude right in front of him is coming right at him at the same time. So I just don't think that was a fair evaluation, especially if somebody comes over. Now, if that guy's coming down and neither one of them come over the line, then I agree with the call. But the fact that you had one guy go over, I have a major issue with that.
Ultimately, it's one of 10, 15, 20 plays that you can point to that say, was this a game-changing play? Was this a game? I don't necessarily get hung up on that.
I have the ability to separate. Like, if this was a game between Old Dominion and Wake Forest, I would have had a problem with that call. Like, I'm taking my vested interest. I just think they got the call on the field wrong. And do I think if they'd have got that right, it would have changed the outcome of the game and Nebraska would have won? I don't think that at all. I just think that was the wrong call on the field at the time. I think the other big worry that I have about this game is I think Michigan put something on tape that other teams are going to be able to circle and go, well, they didn't have an answer to that. They circled 15 on defense and just ran the other way. And that worked really well. So if Desan McCullough is not making your plays or impacting the plays, you're going to have to find somebody else to do it. Now, you still have Vincent Shavers. You still have some guys that can do that. But it felt like they were really worried about 15 and just ran the opposite direction of it.
And I know Matt Rule said that Marquise Watson-Trent wasn't pulled off because he didn't play a lot late in the game, and he had 3 tackles on the day. And for your starting middle linebacker against a team that's going to run the ball a ton, that's just not enough. And I know they played Shavers more, and he was making
second
plays.
in tackles by the end of the
This
day.
is one of those decisions I'm talking about that you're going to have to make. Like, to me, watching the first 3 weeks of the season, I think it's pretty clear who's the better middle linebacker. I think it's pretty obvious, and that's one of those decisions. And I know you got this guy who transferred in, who made 1 billion tackles last season. He's either not fitting into the system, it doesn't work for him. I don't know what it is. I'm not the expert. All I can tell you is what I see.
My eyes tell me the other guy's making a better.
The other guy's making a lot more plays. So this is one of those decisions where I think it's tough. It's going to be a hard conversation, but this is ultimately to make the team better.
And like, if we're going to nitpick, and Dan, you're going to call me the doom and gloom guy. Obviously, that's what I've been up to this point. Like, the one positive on the defensive line that I think was noteworthy, but Elijah Judy still played a pretty good game. Like, all things considered. Like, listen, this system is never going to highlight defensive linemen before the linebackers because that's not what it's designed to do. And you had to get down to number 7 in the tackles category to find a defensive lineman. But I felt like he held his own against an offensive line that, after the Cincinnati game, you'd have thought he might have struggled against.
So again, there are three big runs that account for a lot of the yards for Michigan in this game.
And it was missed tackles and misalignments.
And yeah, I mean, the Bryce Underwood run, I mean, they made a good play call. Like that's a good call. They made a play. Like I'm willing to forgive that one. But what I'm saying is,
I feel the exact opposite about the play, by the way. But go ahead.
If you look at Michigan's offense, they had a touchdown run of 75, a touchdown run of 54, and a touchdown run of 37.
Yeah.
Right? And that's like 56 yards of their offense.
And they ran for 290. Yeah.
Almost half of their yards come on 3 carries. The rest of the time, Nebraska's run defense wasn't terrible.
Yeah, but hold on, because you got to caveat that with the fact that they put together a 15-play, 8-minute drive as well. So that was also a little bit by design. They were trying to eat clock and not hit the home run ball as well. So you can't just say that and okay, those numbers tell the entire story.
But watch the game.
Sure.
Watch the game.
Watched it twice.
Up until yes, Nebraska made mistakes and gave them 3 big plays.
It's just as painful the second time, Dan.
Most of the game, though, Nebraska was holding their own in the run defense. They weren't good by any means. I'm not going to say that they were excellent, but outside of 3 plays, I think the defense played well enough to win. 3 plays caused them to lose the game. Now, is that a focus issue? Is that a preparation issue? What is it? Get that fixed, and you will win games. But this is the positive spin here. Is like there are minor tweaks. There are little things that you can do to make this into a very, very good defense. You just have to clean some things up.
The thing that I think on the 3 runs specifically was, I will give you, the Bryce Underwood play call was a good play call, and it was very well executed by that Michigan offense. The fake into the hole opening and then just finding green grass and letting it rip, that's like a hats off, great job type of play. The one for me is the other 2 runs that the running backs had that were the 2 big ones.
Yeah, Justice Haynes run.
Those are just absolute miscues. And it's kind of one of those, like, to use what I use best, song lyrics. It's a song by The Who. You can't get fooled again. You won't get fooled again. Because it happened twice in that game where I was like, there is no one there. Your defensive backs are nowhere to be found. Your linebackers are nowhere to be seen. And then it just ends with a touchdown. It can't happen like that. And I know that's something that they're going to look at this week and clean up. And according to rule, there's 46 plays that went wrong for this Nebraska team. 46.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
The one thing about the defensive line that I have the biggest problem with post Cincinnati is I think the majority of us left Kansas City feeling like, okay, they've got something in Keona Davis, and Cam Lenhart looks back to his freshman form. Those guys combined for 2 tackles on Saturday. They have to be. Those guys specifically have to be better. I think we all agree that Williams Nwaneri is further along than we expected him to be at this point, but he's a 5-star prospect and should be anyway, right?
Yeah.
Cam Lenhart is a former freshman All-American and has not looked that way through an additional 16 games post his freshman season. And Keona Davis looked like he was going to be the focal point of this defensive line after the first game and then didn't show up on the stat sheet on Saturday.
Yeah, here's where I'm at. So the run defense, I think, with some little tweaks and maybe some personnel adjustments, I think you can be a lot better in that area.
Yep,
so it doesn't concern me as much. The pass rush is very concerning to me
yeah.
for this reason. Nebraska is covering receivers so well.
Yeah.
Like the coverage on the back end.
They allowed 105 pass yards on Saturday.
And you would think that with a moderately competent pass rush, with that good of coverage, you should just fall into some coverage sacks. They're not doing it.
They've got to quit moving Deshaun McCullough around. It's not doing any, but like I get the thought process and what they're trying to do. Put him on one side, wrap him around, let him make a play in the open gap. Just let him pin his ears back and go. Like they've got to find a way to formulate a pass rush.
The pass rush is concerning because like pass defense is really good on the back end, and they're just not getting any pressure up front.
Yeah, I expected that defensive backfield to be really good, and they're better than I thought they'd be.
I think a lot better. They're for the most part. Like now on that long 8-minute drive for Michigan, they had multiple opportunities to stop that thing, and some missed tackles and poor angles in the defensive backfield caused that drive to keep going.
Yeah, to me, what gave Michigan this game more than any other statistic or play, we can talk about 1, 2, 3, 5 plays all we want. Missed tackles in the open field is what lost Nebraska that football game.
I think so. And look, you can point to a missed field goal. You can point to whether or not they should have kicked it on the first possession of the game.
But both of those things completely changed the rest of the game.
Right.
So I hate having that argument.
Yeah. And that's so I think you have to take the game in totality, and the overall like opinion, the impression that I take away from the game is Michigan made more plays in big spots than Nebraska did. And that's it. That's the end of the story.
And I didn't feel like there's a lot of people that are making talent comparisons. I didn't feel like Michigan's talent was that much head and shoulders.
It didn't look like a mismatch.
I agree.
Except when you compare Michigan's D-line play to Nebraska's offensive line play. That looked like a mismatch.
Fair enough. And I'll say this. Like, I think Dylan played really well, but I think you can point at 3 to 4 of those sacks and say him hanging onto the ball was as much of a reason for the sack.
I mean, there's one. There's one.
He's also still a sophomore.
There's one where he's got the quick throw to the flat and he pulls it down and looks to the other side of the field. And I'm like, bro, you don't have that much time.
Just let it. And what gave you that inkling that you would? And the other thing is, why the hell did we keep emptying? Like, they had 7 sacks. Why are we going empty?
They're trying to beat the pass rush with a quick throw.
I get that, but it wasn't working. So you got to find some way to give him a little bit more time, because your left tackles were giving up free run to the quarterback more times than they weren't.
Yeah.
And Dylan was able to beat the pass rush with quick throws a couple of times, but I just didn't feel like that set him up in the best position to win that situation. I really didn't.
I think overall Dylan played a really good game. The interception was kind of hard luck, I think.
Well, he had that one pass out to the flats where the announcers were like trying to bail him out. Oh, he probably got touched. It was like, ooh, he
sailed it.
And I mean, yeah, he had to tuck his arm a little bit, and there was some rush around him to adjust the throw, but he didn't get touched on that. He just in a big play situation just missed by about 5 yards.
Statistically, it's going to look really good for him. Like when you look back on this game and you don't watch it and you just look at the stats, you're like, oh,
yeah, he went 30 for 41, 308 yards and 3 touchdowns.
You're like,
that's pretty good.
That's a good game. And for the most part, it is a good game, but there were just some key little things where throw it away, get the ball out quicker. Don't try to make the big play, make the right play, which I thought
win the down.
He was actually really good at through the first 3 weeks of not holding on to the ball too long and just taking what the defense was giving him rather than trying to. My biggest complaint about the entire Scott Frost era was that they seem to just, like, if it's not a 15-yard gain, don't throw it.
Well, I wonder how much the first Ja'Cory Bartney touchdown changed that too. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we got one deep ball that was successful and they got to miss a line coverage. We were able to beat the cover 2 with this look. Can we get there again? Because it worked once. And I wonder how much that changed it. If you missed our recap of the Michigan game, want to check it out. Check it out on our radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. Is brought to you by Aloe Fiber. From Nebraska neighborhoods across the state, it's clear that there is no place like Nebraska. Just like so many of us, Aloe calls Nebraska home. Born and raised right here in the Cornhusker State, sharing proud traditions of agriculture, easy for me to say, athletics and education and community. Just like game day traditions bring us together season after season, Aloe brings people together, connection by connection. Go to aloefiber.com/Husker Radio tonight and sign up for services provided to the Huskers. It's Aloe Fiber. Check out Aloe Fiber for official internet, TV, and mobile services of the Huskers. Check out aloefiber.com tonight. We'll be right back. What do we get right? What do we get wrong? And what do we see coming in week 4 of college football? 1620 zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Do you know that we are now 2 days into autumn or fall, as you might say? What does that mean? It means you need the new fall line from Mizzen & Main, Johnny O, Roan, and all new Brax pants. And where can you get it? 78th and Dodge, of course, Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Listen, fall is a time to settle down by the fire with a lovely glass of Isla Scotch in your brand new Brax pants. They're comfortable, they're stretchy, they're going to fit you great, and they look great as well. And you're going to look really regal when you sit there with your glass of scotch next to the fire in your new Brax pants. Please stop by 78th and Dodge tomorrow. Check out the new line. They got it all in stock for you. Jerry Ryan's been dressing Omaha for over 50 years.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7.
Partly to mostly cloudy and cooling off a bit overnight tonight. Look for lows dropping back into the upper 50s. Some morning clouds Wednesday, then turning partly to mostly sunny with a high in the mid 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
Home fills up with family. Aloe Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Aloe Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at pyramidroof.com. Never settle for less.
Fall is the time to get to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Stop in and see John, Dan, Jake, Deanna, Matt, and Monier the tailor. There's new fall apparel from Mizzen and Maine, Johnny O, Roan, and now pants from Brax. Stop by 78th and Dodge and look great for all of your fall events.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Headed to a football tailgate this weekend? Power up and stay refreshed with Chesterman Coca-Cola and Hy-Vee. This September, stock your cooler with 24 packs of Coke for just $12.99. Had a long Friday night? Bounce back with Powerade 12-ounce 8-packs, only $4.99. And for the energy you need before kickoff, grab a 6-pack of Monster Energy, just $10.99. From the first sizzle on the grill to the final whistle, Chesterman Coca-Cola is powering tailgates all across Nebraska.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in a romantic dining room or relax on our shaded patio.
Leaves are falling and footballs are flying. It's the season to celebrate, but it's tough to relax when your furnace starts shaking, rattling, and rumbling every time it turns on. With a maintenance plan from Controlled Comfort, you can enjoy peace of mind all year long. Our comfort specialist will perform a full HVAC tune-up and ensure your system is operating efficiently and reliably. Schedule your maintenance appointment today at ControlledComfort.com.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
It's Taste Test Tuesday on After Hours. What does that mean for you if you head over to our social medias, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Twitter, retweet or share out the posts from Marrow tonight? You could be heading out to Marrow on us to check out Gretna's newest hidden gem. It's Marrow. Great bar, great food, great atmosphere. Check out Marrow and check out our social media. You could be going there for free tonight. We are brought to you by Bellevue University. Keep up to date on all the championship action by downloading the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? And what did we not see coming this week in college football? And if you're a new listener to the show, one of the ongoing bits is I try to bury John Schreiner in his takes as often as I possibly can. Because you know John Schreiner has gotten wrong for over a year now? Kurt Signetti might be that dude. I got Indiana right, but this might fall into my right, wrong, and didn't see coming all at one time because I did not see them putting up the whooping that they put on Illinois, but I did think they were going to win that football game, and I did not see that score of 63-10 in Bloomington coming on Saturday. But listen, I thought they would win that game. I thought they'd win convincingly. I didn't think they're winning by 53 points.
Well, stay tuned. What did I get right? Oklahoma over Auburn.
Yeah, you did.
I have not trusted Hugh Freeze this entire season. I still don't. And look, it wasn't like a blowout, right?
Yeah.
Oklahoma didn't run them off the field. And we got word today that John Mateer is now out for like a month having hand surgery. So what does that mean for Oklahoma? I don't know. But on the weekend, Oklahoma looked like a team that could have, I don't know that they will now, could have competed with the big boys in the SEC. I don't know that that is necessarily the truth going forward.
I think John Mateer was going to win the Heisman.
And look, I was quick to change my opinion of Oklahoma this year because in the offseason, you'll remember, I was not sold on them. I watched them play a couple of games. I was like, oh, no, this is for real. Like, this team's good. This team is very good.
Yeah.
Especially after they beat Michigan the way that they did. And now I think we'll see. We'll see what Michigan's got in the chamber at the backup quarterback spot. But I think I was dead on. I felt like Oklahoma was going to win this game comfortably.
Dan, what'd you get right?
Apparently,
A lot.
Texas Tech is actually good at football.
Yeah, they're not good. They're good.
Yeah, got that one.
That defense is legit, man.
Correct in my pick'em this past week, which is great. Jacob Rodriguez is apparently just a massive beast, and Baird Morton is quite good at tossing the football. It was a real surprise to me.
Their freshman backup came in, though, in the second half and was really good.
Yeah, he was the difference in that game.
It was really surprising to me just how close this game wasn't in general.
It was until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it wasn't. See, this is one where I would like you to define what your definition of close is.
It was 10-3 going into the fourth quarter.
See, didn't feel that close to me.
Yeah, well, and listen, this is what I got wrong, because I thought Utah was going to win this game, and I felt even better about it until Will Hammond got into the game. But I thought that Utah was going to be able to contain Texas Tech's offense, and I was right about that until I was wrong about that. But Texas Tech put together one of the most impressive fourth quarters I've ever seen. They hung up 24 in that fourth, and that was the difference. And to your point, Will Hammond coming into the game was the biggest difference in that game.
All right, get out of the way. Here it comes.
What were you wrong about, John Schreiner?
I was dead wrong about Indiana, and I may have been wrong for longer than was necessary about Indiana. I took an opinion of Curt Cignetti from his introductory press conference when he said he didn't care about star rankings, and that is usually the kiss of death for a coach coming from the lower levels to play with the big schools, because recruiting rankings absolutely matter. There's empirical data that shows that it matters.
Yep.
And it's the biggest indicator of how a team is going to perform on a year in, year out basis. And so based on that one piece of information, I thought Curt Cignetti was doomed. I was wrong. The guy can absolutely coach football. He knows how to identify talent. He can put together schemes to beat the best teams in the country. Like Illinois was the number 9 team in the country at the time.
And he shellacked them.
And they absolutely dismantled, destroyed, and defenestrated Illinois in every possible way.
It's made up.
Indiana's for real. This team is real, and like I have to eat that crow. But I'm willing to tell you, man, I was wrong about Indiana, and that's a very good team that's going to compete for a Big Ten title.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is where I have to go for my wrong as well.
I was wondering, 'cause you got a lot right this weekend. I was wondering
because I said that SIG is going to get extinguished this weekend, but apparently
sound effect. I forgot.
But apparently it's a Marlboro 100 that's been dipped in something to keep it going for just a little bit longer, because I've heard it, all weekend. I was listening to one of the random podcasts that talks about college football. I'm not going to give them any shine on here because they're Nebraska haters. You can figure out which one it is.
Yeah.
They said, oh, what if this year's Indiana is just Indiana in the Big Ten?
I want to point out that I said that on Wednesday.
You did. You're smarter than the people who write for national publications.
Many people are saying.
Many people would agree.
0 people are saying.
But
Dan Capitan is saying.
I did not. People. I'm many people.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about.
There's medicine for that, Dan.
I wish I had some. But yeah, the fact that Indiana at halftime said, we could probably put in some backups and maybe make this more of an interesting game.
Probably could have hung 90.
And Curt Cignetti put on the black hood and went, no, we don't stop until they're murdered on the field.
It's the Kermit meme. Pull out the starters. Play the starters more.
I thought this was going to be the game where Brent Bielema casually just walks off the field and says, hello, everybody. We're Illinois, and we are supposed to have been good for the last 3 years, and now is our time. Welcome.
It's not. That did not
nope.
happen.
Curt Cignetti said, I'm going to stomp on you until you're a pile of dust.
I have 2 things I didn't see coming this weekend. Because on the Indiana train, I didn't see Old Dominion just being a team that gives people fits. They probably could have beaten Indiana. They beat Virginia Tech by 9,000 points. And my other team that had an absolute dominant performance is San Diego State. Cal had a dominating first 3 games, specifically beating Minnesota by as much as they wanted to. San Diego State beat them 34-0 this weekend. I definitely didn't see that coming.
Yeah, didn't see coming. I did not see Tulane getting blasted the way they did against Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I thought Tulane was a much better team than that, and it just shows you that there are levels to the game.
Well,
right?
hold on, because I don't know if that's fair, because I hear what you're saying, and I agree to a certain standpoint.
It was 23-3 at half.
Right, but I think it's important to point out that they had 2 other Power 4 games before this that they had to get up for, and just getting up that many times in a row. And yes, they had Southern Alabama in there. So I don't think it's necessarily that Ole Miss is a 45 to 10 point better team than Tulane. They obviously were on Saturday, but I just think that Tulane's schedule just hasn't done them any favors.
Yeah, but I just didn't see this coming. I
Yeah,
did
sure.
not see them getting absolutely waxed the way they did.
Dan, what did you not see coming?
It wasn't the outcome of the game wouldn't make you go, whoa, I can't believe it, in a sense. But the fact that Memphis laid one on Arkansas,
that was my reaction to that, by the way.
32-31, it wasn't like a whoa, they just like killed them and it's wild. It was like, whoa, Memphis won. And that's kind of crazy, because when you went back and watched the game, you said, well,
Arkansas has a big problem fumbling inside the 10.
Arkansas has
that's
a big problem.
pretty good. Now, I am going to make another claim here that if by the end of the year, this could be my right, wrong, didn't see coming at some point in time during this year, but one of 3 teams from the American is going to make the college football playoff and be your at-large bid. It
Okay.
has to be someone from the American.
It might be Memphis.
It's got to be Memphis. It's got to be Tulane, or don't sleep on this North Texas Mean Green team. I don't see
Sleeping
them
on the North Texas
having
Mean
a
Green. That's right,
ton
Dan.
of success, but they've already beat Army, Washington State,
Army sucks.
whoever
Washington
Lamar
State's
is,
bad.
and
Lamar's
Western
bad.
Michigan University.
Bad.
Whoever Lamar is.
Well,
It's a school in Texas, Dan.
I was going to say, is it a school that Lamar Jackson has started,
Yeah.
a la Bishop Green or whatever that was a couple of years ago? Bishop Sycamore.
Army's bad, and they barely beat Army. So I'm not in on the Mean Green.
But they
Dan.
beat Washington State pretty tough.
They're not very good either. With it, we're going to talk about head coaches on the hot seat later. Clark Lee is going to be a head coach somewhere other than Vanderbilt next season. right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Might be Oklahoma State.
Looking pretty good. Would you leave Vanderbilt for Oklahoma State? That's a great question, because I don't know if you would. SEC job, although it's the worst SEC job, but would you leave the SEC for Oklahoma State? Man, I don't know right now. That's a tough answer.
Can I posit one thing?
Yeah.
If you go to Oklahoma State, you don't only have to recruit people who are just straight up nerds.
You can also
Vanderbilt,
give players
famously
money.
nerd school.
Famously. If you missed what we got right, what we got right, what we got wrong, what we didn't see coming this week in college football, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by our friends at Marrow. Again, you could be eating for free out at Marrow on us. All you got to do is head over to our Twitter page at After Hours 1620. Retweet the Taste Test Tuesday post. We're going to enter you into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to Gretna's newest hidden gem. It's Marrow. Head over to our social medias now and get involved in the drawing tonight. We'll be right back. John catches up with Adam Carricker of Carricker Chronicles on the other side of the break. 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Bob at Williams Law. Do you have somebody to sue? Is someone trying to sue you? Have you found yourself run afoul of the law, or perhaps a youngster in your life has done something that's gotten them in some hot water? If any of these sound like a situation you find yourself in, then you need legal advice. And don't find it on social media. Most of that stuff is garbage. You're not going to get your questions answered the way you need them. And you're probably going to get bad advice that's going to put you in a worse situation than you are right now. You need someone who can explain your legal issues to you in terms that you can understand. Bob Williams comes in with us every week and does that for us right here on the radio, explaining the complex legal topics facing the sports world, and he does it in a way that we can understand. He can do that for you as well in a free, no obligation legal consultation. Nothing to sign, no money up front. He wants to get to know you, learn your situation, and help you get the peace of mind by answering your initial questions. And he'll get you ready in the best way possible for your big day in court. You got legal problems, you need someone in your corner, and that someone is Bob at Williams Law. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call Local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less. Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back to the After Hours Lounge. First hour is always brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking to further your education and you want to do it online and you don't want to go to classes on Friday, well, Bellevue University might be the place for you. Check out bellevue.edu. We are joined now by Adam Carriker of CarrikerChronicles.com. Now, Adam, listen, after that heartbreaking loss last weekend, I know a lot of Husker fans probably need some time on the couch with the therapist, but I want to start with some positive things. There were plenty of negative things to take away from this game, but let's start with the positive. Was there anything or maybe a couple of things that you liked from Nebraska on Saturday?
Oh, I definitely think there's, obviously, like you pointed out, frustrating things, but I think there's definite positives. You start with, if you pay attention to every single press conference that Matt Rule has, which I try to over the course of the offseason and during the season, I take a lot of things he says with a grain of salt, but if you pay attention, he'll tell you things sometimes. And he basically called last year's team entitled and whiny. And it may not even be basically, those may have been the exact words he used one time. And because he was talking about how much he likes this year's team and how much he likes the mental makeup and he likes being around these guys and they have a different approach. And I think you saw that on Saturday. They played inspired football. They played inspired football for 4 full quarters. There was a point where it was 10-0, and I'm wondering, oh gosh, is this going to get ugly? And then we come back and tie it. And then the very next play, 75-yard touchdown run for Michigan. It's easy to get deflated again. And what's Nebraska do? Albeit, Michigan's interim coach kind of was boneheaded, but Nebraska took advantage of his boneheadedness. I mean, Michigan chose not to bring Sherrone Moore, so that was their fault. And Matt Rule calls timeout with 1 second left, and they capitalized with a Hail Mary. Then big play after big play from Michigan. Our offense felt like it was playing 6 on 11, yet Dylan Raiola still found a way to do something that hasn't been done to Michigan's defense since Georgia did it in 2021, which is throw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in a game. The last guy to do that was Stetson Bennett, while Georgia was en route to winning back-to-back national championships. Nebraska gets behind by 10 late in the fourth quarter. Dylan Raiola leads them right down the field. Play action pass, RPO, corner of the end zone, touchdown pass to Harburg. And you don't want to be an onside kick away from being in the game because you don't want to be behind and you don't want to depend on a play that's not in your favor. But we're an onside kick away from having a chance to tie or win the game or put it to overtime or whatever. So I actually, with Dylan Raiola, he kind of walked in day one. He had to earn the job, but he was kind of the presumed starter. And then he's everywhere this past offseason, which I said was okay as long as you win games. If that's part of the package, fine. But if you don't win games, man, it's going to come across different.
Yep.
And this Saturday, his rushing game, the rushing part of the offense averaged 1.4 yards per carry. He was running for his life, although people want him to run more. And I'm like, where do you want him to run to? And he still did, completed almost, 74% of his passes and did something that hasn't been done since 2021. And that is the single game where Dylan Raiola earned the most respect from me since he's gotten here. Now, we didn't win the game, but I walk away thinking, all right, we got a quarterback. Not just a guy whose face is everywhere, but we got a quarterback. Does he need to get better? Yes. Does he need to get rid of the ball sooner? Yes. Could he have thrown it away a few more times? Yes. I don't know how in the world you blame this on Dylan, though. The pass defense, still pretty good. Special teams was still solid, although we missed the field goal. What I took away was this team mentally. I can see why Matt Rule likes it. We have a quarterback that now has legit earned some respect for me, not just talented and everything else, but earned some respect for me. And what Nebraska was able to do 6 on 11 on offense was kind of crazy. Now, when you get to the frustrations, is it going to be 6 on 11 on offense the rest of the year? Oh, boy, that could be tough.
Yep.
And the defense, Michigan ran the ball way more than 7 times. But did you know that on 7 of their specific rushes, they ran for 221 yards, 3 touchdowns? That's like almost 40 yards a carry on
It's
7
silly.
particular rushes. So there's plenty of things to be frustrated about. I don't know if I feel better or worse about Nebraska after the Michigan game, because the areas that we are the weakest in are pretty important areas to try to win Big Ten games, which is the trenches.
Yep.
But I feel better about our discipline, penalties, turnovers, special teams, and our quarterback play than I have in a while. So there's positives and there's frustrations. And, man, I'll tell you what, if I'm Matt Rule, this ain't a bye week. This is a fall camp week. That's how I'm using this week. Not because I'm punishing the guys. I wouldn't even add any more practices than I had planned. Normally, you get like Monday off. You practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then you get Friday, Saturday off. You come in Sunday, get an extra day of prep for Michigan State, have Monday off, and then you roll into your normal game week on Tuesday. So if that's what he's doing, I wouldn't change that. But I'm telling you right now, the actual practices themselves, it would be Oklahoma drill, Oklahoma drill, Oklahoma drill. It's blocking, it's shedding blocks, and it's tackling, and then it's one-on-ones all day long. Because we only had 1 sack in the game. We've only got 5 or 6 on the year. We gave up more sacks in one game than we have combined on defense the whole year. So we need to get better in the one-on-ones when it comes to protecting the quarterback, getting after the quarterback. I will say this about our pass game. We don't threaten teams deep enough. We're efficient. We move the ball. Dylan's doing well. But we need to do some one-on-ones with the wide receivers, DB, so we can get some balls down the field a little bit more often, which, we also would need more time to throw. So there's that too.
Okay, Adam, there's a lot there. So let's try to just go back to the start of the game. Nebraska gets the ball first. They march right down the field. They get it inside the 5-yard line. And this is something that has been addressed. It's been talked about before, the deep red zone offensive efficiency. and there's a bunch of different ways you can look at this, right? And I'm kind of stuck in two minds here. I'm a touchdowns over field goals guy, so I really appreciate the decision to go for it on 4th down and try to put 6 points on the board. But the other part of me says, I don't know, put the 3 points on the board. It's a psychological advantage, especially on the first drive of the game, and make that other team play from behind. Even if it's only 3 points behind, they're still looking up at the scoreboard and saying, we're down in this game. I don't know. How do you look at it, that decision to go for it on 4th down there on the first drive of the game?
So while I give this answer, keep in mind, I'm an aggressive-minded guy. Anytime I've had the opportunity in my life to play it safe or go for it, every single time in my life except for one time. Like, how many times have I had this opportunity? Well over 100, maybe 200 times. Every single time I have chosen to be aggressive. The one time I didn't was because it was somebody else involved. So probably 199 times I chose to be aggressive. And I would almost rather fail being aggressive than win being conservative. That's just me. That being said, I would have kicked the field goal. I would have kicked the field goal because of what you said, the psychological advantage. As soon as we didn't make it, it's a little bit of a psychological, disadvantage. The crowd comes out of it just a little bit. Now, the plus side was we pinned them at their 5-yard line. They went 3 and out. We got the ball at our 34. So it almost set up the next field goal, which unfortunately we missed. So when we had our first 2 possessions deep in their territory with 0 points, I'm not going to lie to you. As much as I don't want to admit this, I got deflated a little. But that's why I would have taken the points right away. So I'm with you on that. That being said, man, I will never get on a coach for being aggressive. I just interviewed Osborne yesterday. And if you watch that interview, if you read my shirt, it says real men go for 2. Of all the things Osborne's ever done in his career, that's my favorite thing that he's ever done. So keep that in mind when I say all this.
The other big concern in this game was obviously on the line of scrimmage, the offensive and defensive line. And Matt Rule even addressed it in his press conference today in saying that where he was most disappointed and where he thinks Michigan actually won the game was on the line of scrimmage on both the offensive and defensive side. And we've talked about this with you before. Playing on the offensive or defensive line is an attitude thing. And we know we like the mental makeup of this team and the way that they are able to rebound and sort of flush the bad moments. But do you think there's something going on with the attitude on the offensive and defensive line with this team?
With the defensive line, I think right now we're just undersized. I think we're undersized and we're young. We lost all 3 starters from last year.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, Ty Nasher got, so is Jamari. He transferred. We lost all 3 starters. The only guy coming back, the only 2 guys that ever started in college, period, on this roster, one was Jalen George, an FCS player, and the total starts. That was it. Mostly underclassmen. Elijah Judy's the lone senior. And then you only have 2 guys on the entire team listed at 300 pounds or above, and they're exactly 300 pounds, which means they might be under 300 pounds. And that's it. That's what I think it is on the D-line. With the offensive line, I mean, you got big guys, you got experienced guys, you got a coach who's been here for 4 years. I'll be honest, there's no excuse for it. I mean, Terry Braden, there's no excuse for it on the D-line. We should have been better suited from an experience and or personnel standpoint. But Terry Braden, he just got here. It's a bunch of young, new guys, undersized. I'm not going to put a whole lot on that. The offensive line, I'm like, you've been here 4 years as the coach. You got a bunch of highly recruited guys. These guys are ginormous, some of them. And this is the 2nd year in a row. And I'm not saying that we whiffed on Elijah Pritchett because he's a junior. We got more ball to play this year. He's got an entire year next year if he comes back. But we've whiffed through 4 games on Elijah Pritchett after you whiffed on Micah Mazuka last year as a transfer portal lineman. And I made the joke the other day, between now and the end of the season, there's no more 300-plus pound guys walking through that door. And then it occurred to me, we got one guy sitting right there that we're probably paying 7 figures to. Can you get him going during the bye week? Can you get him going in some way, shape, or form during the bye week? Because he happens to play one of the exact positions that you're struggling at the most right now as a team.
Let's talk about the big run plays then. I think the first one, the quarterback draw, Bryce Underwood, I think you can sort of say, all right, they made a good play call. They made the play. They beat us on that one. They won that one. we'll get them next time. The other two, it seems like, and Matt Rule was talking about this in the press conference a little bit today. There was either an alignment issue or they were caught in a stunt that caught them out of position. And that's sort of what's causing some of these big runs to break. You talked about the defensive line being undersized. Is part of that feeling like you're undersized and feeling like you have to run these stunts? Is that what's causing some of these big runs to break?
Yeah, it's going to happen sometimes. There's a reason that you stunt because it's effective. There's also a reason you don't do it all the time because at some point you're going to get caught. And if they know you're stunning all the time, the odds of you getting caught in a stunt, which means you're out of your lane, which means there's a gigantic lane now available for a running back or a quarterback to go through. There's a reason you don't do it all the time because you increase the odds of that happening. And I actually chatted about this when I interviewed Jason Peter last week. Like at some point, you've got to line up in base and hit somebody in the mouth. You just have to because the risks are too high if you do that other stuff. I will say this, and I do think it's going to be part of running a 3-3-5 scheme or the hybrid that we're running, whatever you want to call it. So we blitz 56% of the time, which is more than any other team in the Big Ten this past weekend. Actually, Michigan was second at 49% of the time. And that's going to be part of the 3-3-5 hybrid scheme, whatever you want to call it. That's part of it because you're trying to catch people off guard and trip them and use fast bodies, get down by blitzing and stunning. But it's also indicative of the coaches obviously think they have to. When you blitz by far more than anybody else in the conference, it tells you they think they have to in order to try to stop the run, which is risky.
We're talking to Adam Carriker, CarrikerChronicles.com. So after this game, I guess I start to feel a little different about the rest of the season. I'll be honest, I had this game when we did the schedule breakdown at the start of the year. I had it picked as a loss. I changed my mind based on what I saw in the first 3 games. I felt like the offense had taken enough steps forward. They'd gotten considerably better, and we're going to be able to outscore some teams despite some of the defensive shortcomings that we might have seen. I felt like that's what Nebraska was going to have to do in this game based on how Michigan was running the ball. And this looks like the team that Nebraska is going to be right now. So the question is, if this is how Nebraska has to play the game going forward, can they still get to 8 or 9 wins in Big Ten play?
Yes. And actually, I looked at the odds, the percentage odds that we were given in every game the rest of the year. We're favored to win every game in October. And we're favored in 2 of the 4 games in November. So if we win the games that we're supposed to, and it's football, that ball's shaped funny and it bounces all over the place. But if we win the games that we're supposed to, that would put us at 9-3.
Yeah.
I will say this. I found this incredibly surprising and odd because we're like given a 57% chance to beat Iowa. And, it's like, I think it's like 53% chance to beat Minnesota and et cetera. We're only given a 52% chance to beat UCLA. Like what in the world?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. And I can't help but wonder if that's a little bit of, hey, you're going to travel halfway across the country. You're traveling 2 time zones. You're going to lose 2 hours or gain it, however you look at it. Because I remember at one point last year, and then I stopped paying attention, Big Ten teams that traveled 2 time zones were like 1-12 with about a month to go in the season. So I wonder if that's a factor. But it's very realistic to win 8 or 9 games. But, man, it is not a given at all.
Yeah, I don't know. After this game, I guess I'm feeling a bit more pessimistic about the season. So is there a way for you to talk me off the ledge about the rest of the season?
It always makes me chuckle when people ask me to talk them off the ledge. It's not really my job. I obviously am rooting for Nebraska to do well. I want them to win. I can never be completely 100% unbiased. I try to be as unbiased as I can be. I've been unbiased enough to piss a whole lot of people off down at the university at times. So that tells me I'm doing my job at least a little bit when it comes to being unbiased. Not that you want to make people mad. But when it comes to this team, you look at October, going to be favored in all 4 games. Michigan State is better than people thought they would be. And I've said they're going to be better than people think all offseason, if you pay attention to my shows at all. But we're going to be favored. We're going to be off a bye. We're going to be at home, and we should win that game. Maryland actually makes me very nervous, but they always look good the first half of this every season, and then sometimes they fall apart the second half. So who knows what to expect out of them. But again, we're going halfway across the country there. I swear to God, if we don't beat Minnesota, I'm going to flip out. I'm so tired of losing to that team, a team that's never as talented as we are, yet they've beaten us 5 straight times.
Yeah.
And then Northwestern, they're not very good at all. For me, there's no reason we can't win at least 3 of the next 4 games. If we only win 2, it's a complete failure of an October. And we could go 4-0. I don't know that I'd predict that. But even if we go 3-1, knowing we're favored all 4 games, that makes us bowl eligible before November. And then we'd only have to go 500 in November, keeping in mind that UCLA is one of those games. And we'd be at 8 wins. And then if you go to a bowl game, a potential 9th win. So that's kind of where I land. I do feel like that's somewhat realistic. But what are your thoughts?
Well, I feel better after hearing you break it down, Adam. It warms my heart, and maybe there are good things in store yet for this team. So we appreciate you stopping by. That's Adam Carriker, CarrikerChronicles.com. He stops in every week to talk with us and sometimes play therapist for Nebraska football. If you missed any of Adam's segment, you can always check it out at 1620thezone.com. Just click on the After Hours tab on the radio replay page. And it's brought to you by Controlled Comfort. If you are in need of some service to your heating or AC unit, look, fall is here. That heater's going to be kicking on real soon. Are you confident that it's going to work the way you want it to? If you're not, you need to head over to controlledcomfort.com and get your maintenance appointment set up before the snowflakes start to fly. Coming up next, we got the social media soundbite. Hey, everybody, it's John here for Paul Davis Restoration. Look, there was some rain that came through. You've had some things happen all throughout the fall, and we are now into the time when snow could hit at any given moment. If you're worried about what that might mean for you, the structural integrity of your home, whether that could mean water in the basement, whether it could mean some mold building up, whatever it is, Paul Davis has got you covered. Go ahead and give him a call at 402-553-0373. They're going to come out and they're going to get your home back to the way it was before the damage happened. And in case of an emergency, save that number, 402-553-0373, for the emergency response team from Paul Davis to come out and get you fixed up as soon as possible. It's Paul Davis Restoration.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call Local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Fall is the time to get to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Stop in and see John, Dan, Jake, Deanna, Matt, and Monier the Tailor. There's new fall apparel from Mizzen and Maine, Johnny O, Roan, and now pants from Brax. Stop by 78th and Dodge and look great for all of your fall events.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience. From their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Leaves are falling and footballs are flying. It's the season to celebrate, but it's tough to relax when your furnace starts shaking, rattling, and rumbling every time it turns on. With a maintenance plan from Controlled Comfort, you can enjoy peace of mind all year long. Our comfort specialist will perform a full HVAC tune-up and ensure your system is operating efficiently and reliably. Schedule your maintenance appointment today at ControlledComfort.com.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
.707 on a Taste Test Tuesday here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Keep up to date on all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus by downloading the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. We're going to punt on the social media soundbite here tonight and get to because we're a little bit behind the clock. We're going to talk about the hot seat situation.
Why is that, Jimmy?
Because John Schreiner does not shut up. We're going to talk about the hot seat situation in college football. The coaching carousel has already started. We know about Deshaun Watson. We know about Deshaun Watson. We do know about Deshaun Watson. We also know about Deshaun Foster. Obviously, the situation in Blacksburg at Virginia Tech, and then now in Stillwater, Oklahoma, as Mike Gundy gets fired this weekend. And if you look around the rest of college football, like, it doesn't feel like this firing coaches before the midway part of the season is over by any stretch of the imagination. I really wonder how much longer Bill Belichick's going to be welcome in Chapel Hill, because kind of feels like that welcome is already worn out. Luke Fickell is being booed and chants of fire Fickell at halftime.
Barry Alvarez says they're spoiled fans.
Yeah, I just think they understand what good football looks like and what bad football looks like, and they're seeing some bad football in Camp Randall.
Barry Alvarez.
Yeah. And then Billy Napier is 1-3. DJ Lagway is hurt. It just kind of feels like
and didn't look good when he wasn't.
Yeah, and it feels like time has come to an end in Gainesville. Sam Pittman, we already talked about Arkansas with losing to Memphis on Saturday.
Yeah, this was a prove-it year for Sam Pittman,
and he is proving everybody right that wanted him out of Arkansas. And then obviously Dabo Swinney is 1-3 and got dominated at home by Syracuse on Saturday. We jokingly talked before the season about Dabo Swinney having being
bulletproof
forever clause at Clemson, South Carolina.
I don't know.
We're going to be testing that theory, but here's my thoughts on that. We're seeing the bounce back with Mike Norvell in Tallahassee this year, right? Like, I think that Dabo Swinney has probably earned the right to get that opportunity next season. I don't think even if they don't win another game all season, I don't think he's getting
they
fired.
play North Carolina next week, so they're going to be fine.
Well, we'll see.
So
one of those guys is probably going to help save their job. It's probably not going to be Bill Belichick.
So if Dabo Swinney keeps going on the rants that he's going on in his press conferences, like he has been,
he might get what he wants
the past couple weeks.
It's insufferable, honestly. I can't stand that stuff.
And I have to say, I don't see a world in which, if you keep the attitude that you had last week in that press conference and continue it for the rest of the season, that Clemson doesn't have a look in the mirror and say,
he's got the hardware, man. I don't think they're going to fire him.
I don't care.
They're not going to fire him.
They're not going to fire him, but they're going to have a closed door meeting where they're going to say,
dude,
all right,
shut up.
Either shut up or we are going to have a mutual parting of ways.
I mean, you look
we'll
down
be
the rest
nice about it, but your butt is on the curve.
He's going to get a lot of money to be on that curve.
Look down the rest of the schedule for Clemson. North Carolina, Boston College, SMU. I mean, the way they've played, you could point that as a toss-up. They should beat Duke. They should lose to Florida State by a lot. Louisville, I would call that a toss-up. They'll crush Furman. in the walkover game, second to last week, and then you have South Carolina at the end of the season.
And you don't know the situation with Lenore Sellers, that offense right now. Yeah.
So they're probably going to finish above 500 even with the 1-3 start. But I wouldn't say by much. Maybe 7 wins.
Dan, the reason Dabo Swinney is asking to get fired right now is he's got 60 million reasons to sit at home. His buyout's $60 million, and he's going to get another job. So he might be like, listen, I'm sick of this crap. You guys really want to fire me that bad? I'll pick me. I'll leave with $60 million in my pocket. Hey, if you missed our discussion about the coach's hot seat in college football, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. If your company needs help with social media marketing, online advertising, or website design, pixelfiremarketing.com is here to help. Their social media experts will ignite your social media presence, entice your ideal client, and engage your brand online. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more details. We'll be right back. What does Dan Campion have cooked up for us in buy or sell? We'll talk about it on the other side of the break. 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. We all need a guy, and I got a guy. It's Nick Bitts with AX Plumbing. He's helped me replace a wax ring under the toilet in my house. He's replaced a urinal in my business. He's also came out and water jetted our entire line and cleared our entire main drain all the way out to the street. We haven't had a backup problem in our house since then. If you've got a son or a daughter that likes to flush things down the toilet they're not supposed to, AX Plumbing is here to help. Check out axpservice.com tonight. They'll leave your home or business cleaner than they found it.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with Trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
It's 7:15 on a Taste Test Tuesday on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. If you want a free estimate, where can you get free at? You can get free at pyramidroof.com. They'll give you a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. they can do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. It's time for buy or sell. Dan, what do we got?
Oh, plenty of stuff happened over the weekend, and it is a Let me start that over. It is a Dable debacle.
Let's try one more time.
Brian Dable is creating a debacle all over again. Or maybe not. Chef Russ has been asked to pack up his knives, and Jackson Dart is going into the fire. Buy or
Way
sell,
too late.
the young Dart is what it will take to fix the Giants' woes.
Brian Daboll is going to be fired in exactly 3 weeks when they have Philadelphia come to town, and that's going to be enough to force him out. I don't think there's going to be any saving grace coming his way, even if they do get the Saints in 2 weeks. It's too little too late, and they're throwing Jackson Dart out there because Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are not your answers. So I sell that this is going to save Brian Daboll's job, but I think Jackson Dart might be the long-term answer for the Giants.
It doesn't seem like there's really much that can save Brian Dable right now.
No.
I mean, Saquon Barkley's not walking back through that door. Like you're not.
Well, he's not going to rush for 2,000 yards again, so it doesn't matter.
It just
ever again.
It seems like we have a dead man walking. Like it just there doesn't seem.
I'm a little surprised they brought him back this year.
Short of some miracle happening where, the Philadelphia Eagles decide to forfeit the rest of the season, and so do the Washington Commanders. And the Giants beat Dallas twice and win the division and go on to a run in the play, which is never going to happen. So
they get the Chargers next. They're going to lose that game by a lot. They're probably going to beat the Saints because Spencer Rattler sucks. But then they got to play the Eagles 2 out of the next 3 weeks after that, the Broncos and the 49ers.
Good defenses in front of you.
Brian Daboll's not going to see Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
With that being said, we were talking about him in the break in completely different context, but I think Lane Kiffin gets a shot with the Giants if his former quarterback is the guy.
Does he want it?
It'll be interesting.
I don't know if Lane wants to coach in the pros anymore. I honestly don't think that. I don't know that he wants to.
I don't know. He seems like one of those guys who, once he is in a place where he feels comfortable, he wants to stay there. I think he's an Ole Miss guy until he wants to retire.
Yeah, or however long they'll keep him. I agree.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting though. It'll be interesting if he gets that call.
It's a good point. There's no question following this because we got to the hot seat discussion early. I was going to yell out, "He's a man! He's 58!" And
He's unemployed.
Yes. But let's instead talk about hands, because last night we saw another surprising sight. Derrick Henry has now evened his total fumbles from a year ago. Buy or sell, it might be time to sell that King Henry stock.
I'm good. I'll continue to buy. I also perfectly fine with the Ravens and where they are right now, even though they're 1-2. Lamar's going to get figured out. Give me those two in the backfield. I think they beat the Chiefs on Sunday. I think King Henry's fine, and it's just a rough couple of weeks. It's the start of the season for everybody. Give me John Harbaugh. Give me Lamar Jackson. Give me Derrick Henry, and I'll probably give you the Kings of the AFC North this year.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because if you watched him in the post game, the interview in the locker room,
he seemed a little off.
He was baffled, like he didn't know what was wrong. And we talk about kickers getting the yips, or something happening with a quarterback, Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. I think Derrick Henry might be in one of these spots where
this is who he is.
There's something going on in his head. He's got to get that sorted out, because man, that reaction on the sideline, I can understand being upset.
Yeah.
He looked like he was about to cry. And
he's fumbled once in every single game.
I know. But you're not in a healthy mental state at that point.
He's also still averaging 6 yards a carry, though.
That's
pretty good.
He's having a good season by most estimations. It's just the fumbling has become a problem now. I don't know what to make of it.
I need him to get together because he's a lock for an anytime touchdown 3 weeks in a row. So
he is indeed. I will point out that he hasn't had more than 5 fumbles
ever, right?
Ever in a single season. And the last time he did it was his
second year, right?
Technically his quote unquote senior season, his 4th season in the NFL.
I gotcha.
So I think he's going to clean up the problems just in general. There's really no reason to assume that he's just going to keep fumbling and not figure out how to hold on to the football. Whether it takes his, now I'm not saying that he has one, but an alcoholic dad coming home and duct taping the football to his arm.
Oh boy.
And punching it a bunch or something like that and saying,
Such a
you can
good-
hold on to everything.
Such a good movie.
But
More
I-
likely of a situation. Derrick Henry has 5 or more fumbles this season, or he attempts another pass.
Attempts another pass.
Yeah, he easily attempts another
I think
pass.
so too.
All right, moving on to more hands. John Mateer is now officially down one. The Oklahoma quarterback is going to be getting some surgery, but Brent Venables is assuming that he'll be back later this season.
He will be.
I would like to point out it is his throwing hand.
Mm-hmm.
Buy or sell that Mateer makes a comeback.
He'll be back. I would be surprised. I mean, it might not be when they want him to come back, but
Well, they want him to come back next week. but-
Yeah, I think he'll be back.
Yeah, he's going to come back. They're saying the thing I read today said it was a pretty straightforward surgery. He's going to California to a hand specialist, and they said a month.
It helps that Oklahoma's a bye this week too.
The recovery time is a month. So today is September 23rd. If you're looking at October 23rd, if he misses 3 games, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee, comes back for the Alabama game. And that's a lot of rust to shake off to go play Alabama
by the way,
in
it's Alabama,
Tuscaloosa.
Missouri, and LSU to round out the season. Oklahoma's schedule doesn't do them any favors.
I think he's going to come back. I don't know what state the team's going to be in when he does.
Was he your favorite to win the Heisman at this point?
Yeah, until we learned about the hand injury. Yeah,
I mean, just by the body of work he's put
Yeah.
through these 4 games,
Yeah.
I think he was hands down the front runner.
Yeah, I thought there was no
pun
question
intended.
Yeah,
until this.
that was not intentional, unfortunately.
Until this hand injury, I legitimately thought, I was like, all right, they beat Auburn. They're going to be one of the teams from the SEC that makes the college football playoff this year, bar none. So it'll be interesting if Oklahoma can hold it together, that if John Mateer can come back in and just kind of clean up the season, I don't see why they couldn't still make the college football playoff. There's always a chance. It's finally here, gents.
So does Michael Hawkins get to start now?
We may see John Schreiner living in purgatory hell by the end of this season. You guys know who the front runner for the Heisman is right now?
Fernando Mendoza.
Fernando Mendoza.
Hey, I've changed my tune. I've officially gotten off whatever wagon I was on. Like,
you want to know who's second?
Indiana's good, guys.
In the betting odds?
You're not going to hear
win
me
the
say different until evidence points otherwise.
You want to know who's second in betting odds for the Heisman Trophy right now? The best player in college football, Jeremiah Smith. Go ahead, Dan.
Unsurprisingly. Well, it's finally here. Ryder Cup week is in full swing.
This is tennis, right?
It's golf. There's really no buy or sell question here. Who will be
Good
the
thing this is a buy or
largest
sell
point
segment.
getter for the USA? Go America.
Go ahead.
You just got to pick someone random.
It's not going to be Keegan Bradley. We can all agree on that, right?
God, this is
We unfortunately can believe in that.
Why?
Because he's going to get all the points technically because he's the captain.
That's
he's
fair
making the decisions.
I'll go Bryson DeChambeau. Since you're taking forever, I'll jump in there. Bryson DeChambeau is my pick, Dan.
Interesting. I wouldn't hesitate to say that would be a correct answer in general. I don't know how well he matches up within match play in like singles matches against other golfers, because he is prone to go for the big shot.
Yeah, because his shoulders are the size of boulders.
Yes. I still remember when we all made fun of Bryson DeChambeau when he wore the little newsboy hat and was Mr. Noodle Arms, and then he came back 2 years later and it was like,
Perfectly normal. Perfectly cool.
sorry, hey, everything's fine. It's just deer antler spray that's been in your bag this whole time,
Yeah.
right?
Justin Thomas?
No, I'm going Xander Schauffele.
Because
I just feel like he's due for a little bit of a turnaround. Like, he hasn't been great lately.
He's the world's number 4.
Yeah, but he hasn't looked like that player. He's taken some time off. He's missed a couple of tournaments. I think it's going to do him some good. I think he's ready for a big move here in the Ryder Cup.
That is also a very good idea, just like from a general perspective.
Like Scotty's the easy take.
Yeah. Well, and I'm actually
he's the world's number one.
Yeah. I'm really proud of you guys for not taking Scotty Scheffler, because that is the easy answer, because he plays the most even, steady Eddie golf of anyone.
His name's not even Eddie.
Xander Schauffele is kind of a out of left field pick in general, because like you said, John, he's been very peaks and valleys this year, but he's one of those guys. There's a reason he's on this team, and there's a reason he's number 4 in the world. He's very good still at playing golf, and he does have a tendency to turn it up when the Ryder Cup comes around. My pick, Sam Burns. I think one of the newbies this year is going to have to be the largest point getter for the United States. And Sam Burns is one of those guys where
if Sam Burns walked in here right now, I'd have no idea who he was.
He looks like a guy who you wouldn't know who he is.
Mm-hmm. I know. I looked him
which
up.
is a positive.
He looks like a guy you'd walk up to and go, "Hey, you Sam Burns?"
Yeah, right. It's like that guy saw on the golf thing one
if
time.
Sam Burns and Cameron Young both walked in here right now, I'd be like, both of those names suit either of you. I don't know which one of you is which. That's perfectly fine.
Generic white guy, numbered 1 and 2.
But one of the newbies has to probably win the most points for the United States this year, because they're going to be coming in sort of underdog style, and it's going to mean more to them just right off the bat.
We got to get to Brian Munson from Husker Online Non-3 when we come back. If you missed this segment about golf, wanted to find out who's generic white guy 1 and 2 in the golf world, you can do so on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by our friends at Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, the premier suit buying experience in the Midwest. I bought my wedding suit at Jerry Ryan. Dan Campion bought his wedding suit at Jerry Ryan. If you know one of those weird people that are getting married on a Husker game day, or maybe they're getting married for the bye week and you don't have a suit for their big day yet, stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, 78th and Dodge, and pick up your suit this weekend. We'll be right back. Brian Munson from Husker Online Non-3 joins us here on 1620 Zone.
Hey, everybody. It's John here for Pasta Amore. We're going to pivot. We're going to go to Marrow. Marrow is the newest restaurant in West Omaha. Yeah, I'm a little mixed up on my restaurants, but Marrow is the one we're talking about tonight. We got to try some of the delicious food from Marrow over the past few weeks, and let me tell you what. If you haven't been out to Gretna to try Marrow yet, you are severely missing out. They have a great menu. They have a great atmosphere. When you walk in, you're going to know you're in a place that is going to serve you some delicious food. If you haven't tried Marrow yet, you need to get out and do it this weekend. Make your reservations because they fill up fast. Go check out Marrow this weekend.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7.
Partly to mostly cloudy and cooling off a bit overnight tonight. Look for lows dropping back into the upper 50s. Some morning clouds Wednesday, then turning partly to mostly sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all. And full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters. And the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with the trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Leaves are falling and footballs are flying. It's the season to celebrate, but it's tough to relax when your furnace starts shaking, rattling, and rumbling every time it turns on. With a maintenance plan from Controlled Comfort, you can enjoy peace of mind all year long. Our comfort specialist will perform a full HVAC tune-up and ensure your system is operating efficiently and reliably. Schedule your maintenance appointment today at ControlledComfort.com.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with Trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
7:32 on a Taste Test Tuesday edition. The After Hours Launch brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You don't become number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. Brian Munson from Husker Online and On 3 joins us now on After Hours. Munson, good evening. How are you?
What you know about that?
We know about decommitments. That's what we're taking a look at right now. Nebraska loses somebody out of the 2026 class. You've kind of talked about this a few times with Davion Bonwell-White being a guy that maybe not the most solid commitment in the first place. Can we tip this up to the Michigan game and that being the catalyst for this happening, or has this kind of been in the works for a while?
No, it's been and I just got done writing my 3 and Out section, about this tomorrow. And honestly, the minute basically Garrett McGuire left Lincoln, I thought to me that there was really no chance that he was going to hang on and be part of the class in the end. It just seemed like a long time coming. The kid, first of all, the kid's talented. He did pick up an offer last June when he was there at summer camp, not last June, the June before, so 2024. Committed in October, and he was on crutches. He had fractured his kneecap and ended his season early, had injury linger through the winter and into the spring, finally got back out there for track. I think his first track meet, out the gate, he ran an 11:04 100 meter. And I think he really only improved it to a 10:9. And, there's defensive linemen now that are running 10.9s. You got linebackers that are running, 10.6, 10.7s, and you got wide receivers on that team right now at Nebraska that are 10.3s, 10.4s, or other players that are running that fast. So, you're talking about a full half second or more faster in 100 meter, when it comes to the difference in speed. And I thought it was pretty telling. And I don't want to rag on the kid because I think the kid's capable of playing college football at some level. I think what people really need to sit back and kind of think about here long and hard is this is like an averted disaster. You could have signed him. You probably could have got him for little or no money, honestly. And you probably could have brought him in and played it that way. But in the long term, were you doing yourself or him any favors by kind of just trying to make it work? And I think the answer to that question would be absolutely no. And one last thought here. He has did not take an official visit yet to Nebraska as part of the 2026 class. Only 2026 commitment to not take an official visit. From October, he only returned to Nebraska one time in April, and that was to meet the new wide receivers coach. Basically was told he needed to be reevaluated at summer camp. Never came back at summer camp. You know, there were so many things like not in his favor between like, you know, Satterfield, you know, change of the OC with Holgerson, change of the wide receiver, you know, wide receiver coach. He lost a lot of connections to Nebraska essentially over the last, you know, 6, 7, 8 months, you know, or actually now a little bit longer than that, but still, you guys get what I'm trying to say. There was a stockpiling list of things that just kind of, and in the end meant he was not going to end up part of this class.
So obviously a win last weekend would have been big for Nebraska with all the guys on campus. We saw a lot of them making social media posts about their time in Lincoln. What was your overall impression, takeaway from the recruiting efforts and the experience for the players who came to visit for this big weekend?
And this is the second part of my 3 and Out for tomorrow that I'm actually writing right now. And the title is Despite the Loss, Positive Vibes from the Recruits. It was a great weekend in Lincoln. And in fact, Matt Rule mentioned it in his press conference yesterday that, you know, recruiting was still a huge positive despite the outcome of the game. I mean, talking to a number of those recruits on Saturday and Sunday, you know, they all still kind of felt like Nebraska was in all the way to the very end. I think that those with like maybe a little bit more historical, you know, kind of context of Nebraska, you know, not just like through the years of Matt Rule, but I mean into Scott Frost, you know, and into Matt Riley and into Bo Pelini, just kind of seeing. I know how that movie ended. You know, there's a bit of a talent difference still. I appreciate what Matt Rule said. However, like if you take, you know, 4 runs out or whatever, they're averaging 3.7 yards per carry. They're not gashing you for 6 yards a pop. You know, they were stopping. But you know, and I wish that there was a way to conceptually like go back and like replay this somehow. If you put like Hutmacher and Ty Robinson on that defensive line and said, okay, let's line up and let's go play. Like that would have been a very, very interesting scenario, I think, to where, you know, Nebraska gets a couple beefier guys inside and tries and gets a chance to stop them. But the recruiting aspect of this weekend was very, very positive. A lot of those guys were in Lincoln, you know, for their second time, and maybe even in some cases more than that. And the one thing that they just didn't kind of have to kind of put the picture together, what it was like to be like to go to Nebraska, you know, would have been that game. And the crowd was mentioned by basically everybody. I think guys that are there that were there, like the 26 commits, the 27 commits, particularly Trey and obviously Matt and Tori. A lot of those guys got mentioned by name by several of the recruits that got a chance to finally talk to those guys. Luke Sorensen got mentioned by name as well. So I think all in all, very, very positive weekend despite not winning that game against Michigan.
This question was kind of posed on the Connor Happer show, and it kind of got me to thinking, like, when we talk about the money that was spent in this offseason, this is just the world we live in. This is a discussion we have to have now, right? And when a guy like Elijah Pritchett is getting paid to come in from Alabama, and the money the type of player like that is going to demand, is there an issue in Nebraska, in your opinion, with the way the money is being spent, the evaluation, both, or none of those things?
Well, I think it's hard to defend the evaluation at this point right now.
Sure.
Especially with Pritchett. I think that you had some really, really bad PFF grades when he was at Alabama, despite being like a 12-game starter for the Tide. A lot of people think that they can kind of fix what's broke when they kind of put the film on, and they think they understand, like, everything about that scenario, and it can just happen. But I think now that this is like total caution towards, I think, that kind of scenario kind of moving forward for Nebraska. That obviously did not work out here with him, and I'm not giving up on the guy.
No, I'm not either. I'm not either.
He could absolutely turn the corner, tomorrow and be a world beater, and that would be fantastic. I think it would be absolutely music to Nebraska's ears. Everybody that played the card that Nebraska is paying him too much money for him to sit on the bench was really probably, in the truest context, probably accurate in their line of thinking. However, when it came to like winning games and being consistent on the field, what mattered was just the consistency at the position and the play. And Nebraska realized, very, very early that they couldn't leave him out there and feel like, there wasn't going to be more of those mental kind of lapses and breakdowns. So I think that this serves as a warning, I think, to them that they got to be better in their evaluations. I think that you have people that step up that do give money to bring those players to Lincoln. And I think when that player gets that kind of money and they're sitting on the sideline, I think it's oftentimes hard to kind of, go back and ask for more when those guys aren't having a bigger part of like the results on the field.
So one of the things Matt Rule was talking about yesterday in the press conference was the red shirts, right? And trying to decide who was going to red shirt and what that means. And then he started to talk about the potential of the 5-for-5 rule, meaning that there's a proposal with the NCAA that you get to play for 5 seasons with no restrictions rather than getting to play for 4 games in your redshirt year if you want to. And talking about it's tough to tell guys you're going to redshirt now. If this passes, then they've wasted a year. Is there anything that this impacts with recruits, do you think? I mean, what does it change expectations for players who are coming in their first year? How do the coaching staffs around the country start to navigate this in this sort of limbo phase where they think it's going to pass, but they're not quite sure?
Boy, I tell you what, that's super tough because I love the way Rule kind of set it all up, and like he gave the other, the other kind of the laws, the stuff that was going through the legal courts and the judge and stuff like that, and how things were going to kind of happen. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, it's going to happen. And it carries out for months. And it just never seems like it's going to happen. It drags on and it drags on. Then all of a sudden you have to basically go in and manage, and the changes to how you're going to manage your team. You have to go forward and take care of the change management and make the adjustments basically that go along with the ruling. Unfortunately, I kind of see the same thing is going to happen here, where, it's going to be a very sudden kind of deal that somebody's going to kind of come to a realization. They're going to make a call, and it's either going to stay the way it is traditionally with, the 4 games and 4 years, or it's going to go to just 5 years of complete eligibility. And then your problem then is that you got guys on the roster, particularly guys that are hurt like a Hartzog, for example, who may have a year of red shirt that he could have gone back and figured out a way to maybe, use it again. Are those guys going to get like super red shirt years back again if they want to use it again next year? I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility based on how they treated COVID. I mean, you've got some guys now that are like in their 7th year. Like if that guy's not walking around with an MBA, I'd be a little bit embarrassed, to be honest with you. But that being said, I do feel like it's going to be one of those sudden things that they just have to make an adjustment and go ahead and roll with. And whether or not they could have done something better on earlier in the season to manage the true freshmen they currently have, or you have some sort of like, okay, but what about us now that have already redshirted a season? Do we get another year of eligibility? Those are things that are going to have to be sorted out.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. When you think about a guy like a Caleb Benning, who's second on the depth chart right now and redshirted last season, does he get another year because he was playing under the old rules? How do you handle that?
Totally. I mean, that is an absolutely great question. I mean, you can't play by the rule at the time, then change, mid-game and just expect everybody else to roll with it. It has to apply to everybody currently in, as well as those that are being added to. And unfortunately, there's not a great way to kind of do all that, because you just can't roll back the clock. But you can give that extra year of eligibility potentially to those guys. And I think it's like I said, they seem to be handing out extra years of eligibility like Oprah hands out cars. So I don't know why they would stop now and just not go ahead and give a year of eligibility to those that maybe potentially, want to go ahead and file like a waiver claim based on this kind of super red shirt, kind of ruling if it ever comes down.
And we thought super seniors were done.
Yeah, there you go. Just another way to go ahead and add it back.
Good time, bad time, or indifferent about the timing of the bye week?
I think it's a good time. I think number one, I think people have got to realize that I'm sure Nebraska is not very happy with where things sit with their 2026 recruiting class. There's 11 members still in the class. They are like almost 70th in the nation overall. They're dead last in the conference when it comes to team rankings. They probably have, 3 or 4 spots to add. They did offer, surprisingly, a wide receiver yesterday out of Ohio, an Iowa State commitment, but a different looking dude. A 6'5", 205-pound guy with a 80-inch wingspan, and a real kind of difference maker, I think, at that spot, a 4'3" guy, to be honest with you. So I just think Nebraska fans probably hearing that news are going, wow, why couldn't it be a defensive lineman? I get it. Like we've been talking about it. It's a pretty glaring need in the class, is that they need to go find a sizable kind of guy, to put at defensive tackle and kind of bring him along. But I think it's a good time. You're kind of getting into like the heart of the season. A lot of guys are past their district play. They're in or non-district or into their district play. Things are getting ratcheted up some. And I think you're going to go ahead and get some really good film out there and get some good competition going. And I think Nebraska could make some additional 2026 offers here over the coming weeks.
That's Brian Munson from Husker Online. You heard him reference his 3 and out. And obviously, Tunnel Talk and all the great stuff that him, Sean, Sip, and Rob and the team do over there. If you haven't subscribed, Husker Online yet, do so tonight. Brian, we appreciate it. We'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds good, guys. We'll see you.
If you missed Munson's segment, easy for me to say, check it out tonight on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration. Listen, you don't know if you're going to need this number tonight. You know if you're going to need it tomorrow. You're going to need it eventually if you're a homeowner. Save this number in your phone, 402-553-0373. If you have smoke damage, if you have some water damage, if there's a seasonal storm that affects your house, Paul Davis is going to be there at a single phone call, 402-553-0373. Save that number and work with Paul Davis in the future. We'll be right back. We're going to wrap up the show with our trash takes tonight, 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. Home or residential, they can do it all. Whether it be backflow prevention issues, plumbing problems, big plumbing issues can all be fixed at AX Plumbing. Head over to axpservice.com today. Maybe you're like, Jimmy, listen, I do have big plumbing problems. I don't have big plumbing money. That's not a problem. There's financing available for those that qualify on the website as well. Check out axpservice.com. They'll leave your home or business cleaner than they found it.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Fall is the time to get to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Stop in and see John, Dan, Jake, Deanna, Matt, and Monier the Tailor. There's new fall apparel from Mizzen and Maine, Johnny O, Roan, and now pants from Brax. Stop by 78th and Dodge and look great for all of your fall events.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot fieldhouse featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Leaves are falling and footballs are flying. It's the season to celebrate, but it's tough to relax when your furnace starts shaking, rattling, and rumbling every time it turns on. With a maintenance plan from Controlled Comfort, you can enjoy peace of mind all year long. Our comfort specialist will perform a full HVAC tune-up and ensure your system is operating efficiently and reliably. Schedule your maintenance appointment today at ControlledComfort.com.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with Trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Shut her down on a Taste Test Tuesday. Not too late. Head over to our social medias, retweet or share out the post from Marrow tonight. You could be heading over to the finest hidden gem in Gretna. Marrow is now open. We are brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. If you need a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding, they can do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. It's time for our trash takes. Where we're going to do here's all three of us are going to give you a take here to wrap up the show, and we're going to post a poll on Twitter. You'll vote for who had the best take. Whoever receives the fewest amount of takes will have the trashiest take of the night. Any volunteers to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay. I hope you don't steal mine.
So last night,
nope.
After Monday Night Football, which this is something that occurs every week after Monday Night Football during football season, Scott Van Pelt and Stanford Steve did their Bad Beats segment. And I'm here to tell you that there are no two people having more fun doing their job than Stanford Steve and SVP when they do Bad Beats. This is, in my opinion, the best segment or bit or whatever you want to call it in sports television right now. These two guys sitting on the field in Baltimore as the cleanup crew is using leaf blowers to blow the grass shavings off the field. And they were having an absolute blast of a time. It was so funny. It was so good. I absolutely love this segment, and it is the best thing in sports TV right now.
Dan?
I would like to congratulate Asia Wilson on being the WNBA's MVP. Some of you might be wondering out there right now, but Dan, you're a Minnesota Lynx fan. You've been writing for Nafisa Collier all season. Yes, I have. But when a woman is so dominant as Asia Wilson has been all season, it's right to give her flowers. An average of 23.4 points per game, 10.2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1.6 steals. That is just her regular season stat line, and she is in round 2 of the playoffs right now against the Caitlin Clark-less Indiana Fever.
In their defense, every other team is also Caitlin Clark-less in the NBA, in the WNBA playoffs.
They are indeed.
Zing.
But Asia Wilson deserves her flowers. This is her 4th MVP honor.
That's
just good. In the regular season. It is not only good, Jimmy, it is enough to put her up there amongst GOAT status.
Agreed.
We are seeing some of the greatest women's basketball being played in Las Vegas by Asia Wilson of all time.
You know, we're not
Witness
seeing
it.
We're not seeing great boxing. Jake Paul's a clown show. The powers that be in boxing need to step in and tell Tank Davis, don't do this. They weighed in. They weighed in today. Anyone want to take a guess how much more Jake Paul weighed than Gervonta Davis?
Was it 22, 23?
Like probably 53 pounds.
68 pounds
No,
more.
you're kidding
I'm
me.
dead serious. And they're going to allow this to happen. Not only is Jake Paul almost a foot taller, he weighs 60 more pounds than Gervonta Davis does.
This makes me want Tank to win even more.
I know, and it's just not going to. It's just not going to happen. Like he has the size to stay away from him if he starts losing the fight. Like, and he's writing check. So guess who's going to win if that's the case? Like, this is so stupid. Like, why are we doing? Like, why does Jake Paul want to do this? Like, obviously the easy answer is money, but like
easy.
But like, do you not like? He's got to realize that how bad this looks. If you ever want to know, if Bud Crawford's going to fight Tank Davis, go look at the size difference between Jake Paul and figure that answer out for yourself. If you missed any of the show tonight, check it out on our radio replay page. It was brought to you by Allo Fiber. Listen, if you're dealing with the old internet provider or the old cable provider, and you're wondering what it's going to take to get out of the Stone Age, it's super easy. Head over to allofiber.com tonight. Sign up for new services. Not only can you get great internet, you can also get great TV services with their partnership with DirecTV. They've also got the all-new Allo Mobile, so you can get your one-stop shop for cable, internet, and television, as well as your cell phone provider, all at allofiber.com tonight. For Dan Campbell and John Schreiner, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Chicken Pot Pie Day, everybody.
I want my chicken fried.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call Local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402